Hello guys, welcome to our YouTube channel. So on this video, I will be letting you know or understand flyer tips design. You understand the tips you need to know when designing a flyer. First thing first, you need to know what a flyer is. So what is a flyer? I believe you all know what a flyer is, but let me just explain by the way. This is the paper advertisement typically posted or distributed in the public space. So those stuff they normally print on paper and share it for people on public space, whether bus stop, airport, wherever place you find it. It's called flyer. And mostly all those small business owners, government, any individual can just use that to promote his business, okay, or to pass information to people on the street. So, but it's not limited to physical distribution alone. We also have digital flyer that you can also send it or post it online. You understand, so that you can pass information to people as well. Most of the reason for doing that is to bring new customers, or you should announce if you're having a new sales, promotion, etc. You understand? And we have several types of flyers. We have posters, we have pamphlets, we have handbills, we have leaflets, we have inserts. So these are some categories or types of flyer. So basically the difference between poster, pamphlet, handbill, leaflet and insert are: posters are larger in size and mostly they are being printed to be placed in the wall, just like all these campaign posters you see around. So for pamphlets, these are small unbound booklets. The type like we have tri-fold, we have two-fold, we have Z-fold. So this kind of programs they share on the wedding that they normally fold it into three, those are pamphlets, and they are mostly smaller in size. They are a little bit smaller than posters. So posters normally come in like A3 size, then pamphlets normally come in like A4 size. Yes, then it will be folded into 3 or 2, it depends on what you want. For handbills, they are smaller than pamphlets. They are very small, let's say like A5 size. Yes, half of A4. Yeah, that's mostly what we call handbills. So for the leaflet, it's just almost the same thing like flyer, but I mean handbills, but they are a little bit more, they have more higher quality. You understand? They have more higher quality and they are also small as well. And lastly, insert are those advertisements that have been placed inside another publication, let's say magazine or newspaper. So all those advertisements that you find inside magazine or newspaper, those are inserts. So when designing the flyer, there are some elements or things you need to consider if you're designing the flyer. Number one, headline. So the headline is your flyer's first line of serious interest or attack. So that thing you want people to notice first, that is where you're going to put it as your headline. So that thing or anything you're going to put on your headline should be that thing that you want to pass to your customers or clients or your readers, the people that are going to see that flyer, even if they are not going to notice any other thing, but they should notice your headline. That alone can define the whole purpose of the flyer. Then another element we can consider is content. So when designing the flyer, not to make it so bulky, you need to take your time to slash down the information or the content, reduce it as short as possible. You understand? To make it catchy and interesting. Because the moment you full information, people will feel as if they are reading a book. So that is not necessary. Just make everything simple and short. You understand? Because nowadays people don't really read, they glance or scan. Let me just keep it that way. They will just scan through your content, and the most important things they will just pick it and leave the rest for you. So that is why the content is also valid and important. And your design also matters. That's the third point. Your design also matters because of the way you're going to make the design alone can capture someone's attention. Like it's going to capture someone's attention to look into it, to know what it is all about. So to achieve that, you need to be careful the kind of pictures, the kind of graphics, icons, logos, and colors you will use on your design. You understand? Using high quality picture, using the good color palette, and so on and so forth. That will help a lot. So another point or element that you need to consider when designing is your selling point. So there are some certain things that you're going to add to your flyer that will make the customer, that will drag the customer's interest to come. Let's say for example you use the word promo or 50% discount or free. You know all those things, like someone will be like, okay, what are they doing promo on? What are they giving 50% discount on? What are they offering for free? Then that will draw their attention to come closer to pay attention to what you're trying to pass, the information you're trying to pass. And lastly, a goal. Make sure that your flyer meets that goal, or when you design the flyer, it should communicate in a very clear manner to your customers or whosoever, or your readers. You understand? It should be very, very clear. So let's move to the next. There are some professional flyer design tips that you need to know. There are some tips that you need to consider when creating a flyer. As I said earlier, your headlines really matter. So when you're doing that, you should create an eye-catchy headline, right? That hooks your clients or customers to read more about all the information you're trying to pass. Another tip is you should choose your fonts wisely. So when designing a flyer, know the kind of fonts you use, because there are some fonts that are terrible, and there are some fonts that are very nice that appeals the eye. So another thing you need to consider when choosing your fonts is make sure that the font you'll be using on your design shouldn't exceed 3. You understand? It should not exceed 3 fonts, because some people will just jump pack plenty of fonts. Any font they see they want to use on their design will not be organized. So very, very, very important. Make a wise choice when choosing your fonts. You should use one for your main headline. You should use another one for your paragraphs, and you should use the other ones for other informations, like let me say like contact address, phone number, and other information that is being required on that particular flyer. You understand? So try everything possible not to exceed 3 different type of fonts, and you should choose the reasonable ones for that matter. Another tip is you should include contact information. This is very, very obvious, but most of the times people forget about that particular aspect of including their contact information. Because sometimes clients will give me a job and I will ask them to send me the information of the job. They will send other things and forgot to send their contact information, which is not really good, because it's very, very important to be addressed on your flyer or whatever design you're making. So the position you're supposed to make that is on the bottom of your design. So whenever they glance through your information, they have known whatever that flyer is talking about. The last thing they are supposed to meet is your contact information and probably your address, because it's also part of your contact information. So another professional tips or professional way of designing your flyer is to keep it simple and catchy. Make it in such a way that the reader or the customer can easily find out about your services, and make sure that design attract your target audience. You understand? The kind of people you're targeting, make sure your flyer attracts them. Another tip is to make your messages clear. So when you don't make the information clear or the message clear, and the client or the reader is trying to wrap up his head to understand what the flyer is even talking about, they will easily lose interest. So how do you do this? You should highlight, bold, underline, position, select the color, slant your design element to draw attention to the most important information. That way you can pass accurate and direct information. As I said earlier, people glance. So when you point out the keywords or the most important information, when you point them out in this manner, either you underline, you position them, you make them bold, or you change the color, that alone will help the viewers to attract the viewers' attention to that particular scene that you highlighted. So once they glance through, boom, they will get what you're trying to say on your flyer. Another thing is you should keep it professional, right? That's another tip. Keep it professional, because you need to source your image or whatever element you're using. You should source a high quality images, because sometimes you will look at a good design, then the image you use there is very, very poor. It doesn't make sense. But sometimes if you see the design may not be that attractive, but the image that they use there is very, very sharp and it's in high definition. So when you get such images and you use it on your design, it will be very, very professional. You understand? And there are some websites that I personally use to get all those images. Sometimes I use google.com, sometimes I use pinterest.com, I mostly use freepik.com, and sometimes I use pixels.com as well. So I'm going to list out these particular websites for you guys So you can also, I will leave the website description on my bio, so you check it and go through them. You're going to find whatever you're looking for there. So another tips that you need to consider is how you choose your picture for your design. Okay, let's say for instance your client gave you a job to design a hair salon flyer, and you went ahead to bring a picture of a burger to that design. Does it make any sense? It doesn't make any sense. So when you're designing a flyer for hair salon, you go on the research, you look for pictures related to hair salon, making of hair, barbing, washing, whatsoever thing, hair dryer, all those stuff. Those are the kind of things that are to be seen on your design, not the other way around. Another tip is call to action. Okay, call to action, I mean you should include either a QR code, call us now, order now, text I am interested to so and so numbers. So these are the things that you need to include to your design to tell your client that after reading the information you provided, this is the next thing they are to do. Book now, order us now, and so on and so forth. You know all those words, you can see it on general flyers. So the last but not the least is color choice. So the choice of color you make when designing your flyer really matters a lot. Apply the simple principles of fonts. So try everything possible not to use more than 3 colors on your design, because some of you are fond of using different colors on your design, like you'll be using up to 5, 7, 8 colors. It doesn't make sense at all. Your design will look more like a masquerade or something, so it's not professional at all. So all you need to do is just select. In short, what I normally used to do most of the time is, if I'm using an image on my design, that image I'm bringing in will be my source of color palette. So I'm going to select my color right from that particular image that I brought in. The clothes the person is wearing, you understand, the skin tone of the person, whatsoever color I can find there, that is what I'm using on my design to avoid multicolor or color riot, you understand. So on my next video, I'm going to show you how to design a professional flyer. Alright, thank you. See you in my next video. Make sure you subscribe and turn on your notification so that if I should upload a new video, you will see it immediately.